You know, Gareth, and I'm sorry to keep like bringing us back. I am extremely interested in the way that the GNU, as it's called, the coalition between the ANC and the DA is working, and in some places not working, and so I do want to bring us back to the issue, unfortunately, because it's one of the places where it seems to have a fault line, because now you had a working relationship with Action SA, and that's fallen through, partly also because Herman Mashaba was able to convince your GNU partner at national level to come across and vote with him, right? And much to, some of us looked at it and thought, oh, they won't do that. And the first time around when it was tabled, they collapsed the council and the vote didn't happen. And then they waited for Cyril to be out of the country. And they voted with Herman to oust. So I'm interested to know what that means for the GNU, what's happened in Tshwane, and how the Gauteng provincial executives and their decision to go against national, what that means for the GNU at national level, and what it means at provincial level, where you're trying to get other things through, because there are three rings to the circus, but they don't all seem to be gelling together. So please tell me a little bit about what that means. All this action, primarily domino effect.
Sure, Phumi. The most important thing there is that it's the ANC's problem, but it becomes our problem, and it becomes the country's problem. There is a big divide between how the ANC at national level and provincial level in Gauteng are facing things. And that vote did send a shockwave through the government of national unity, make no error. And it certainly made the DA sit back and think very hard about possible future options. I'm not going to speak about the government of national unity because it's not my lane. Suffice to say that Lesufi is in great danger. The ANC only got 6 percentage points more than the DA in the 2024 Gauteng election. Only 6 percentage points. Now that is a tiny margin. And again, I will say that if all the voters who voted for a whole slew of tiny little parties had understood the big picture and the importance of ensuring that a strong anchor tenant is at the heart of these coalitions and had voted for the DA, we would have been bigger than the ANC in Gauteng. And that would have changed the ball game completely. But Lesufi is hanging by a thread. Gauteng is a province of metros. It's got Johannesburg, Ekurhuleni, Tshwane, and Mogale City. The DA is now officially the biggest party in South Africa's metros if people stop splitting the vote all over the place. And Lesufi knows that we've got, in 2 years, a local government election in which those those 4 metros, although Mogale City isn't formally a metro, but those 4 metros could fall. And that's his political life on the line. So he's worried about the continued erosion of his base on both sides. And he's decided that he wants to hold on to all of the left-wing EFF's MK-style voters in the run-up to 2026. So that's what's going on. At national level, the president, I haven't spoken to the president, but the president, I think, Fikile Mbalula, David Mukura, and others see a major realignment of politics on the cards. They know that it's very unlikely that single parties are going to get above 50% in forthcoming elections, and that the whole critical thing will be coalitions and alignments. And they very much know, that putting the EFF or MK into government will be the death of good governance and the death of the economy. And if we think that we've got a crisis in unemployment now, we will have to wake up and see what it's going to be like if the EFF and MK come into office.
What do you mean that the GNU is not your lane? What does that mean?
Well, I run the blue machine, right? So I don't run the GNU, I run the blue machine, and my lane is the organization.